Hello everyone and welcome back to 4KB Shorts, the Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program with the Realz. Alright, so it's been a boring couple of videos, I know. We've just been launching probes into the air. Haven't gotten anything really fun going on, especially with the whole permadeath thing. Everyone's like, where's Jab? Where's Jab? He's coming, I swear. We just have to get through this, we have to. I mean, like I said, I could do it off camera, but you guys missed out on some cool things. Wanted to give you a heads up, I did install the Fuse Tech command pod thing. Yeah, the Fuse Tech mission pod, but there's no oxygen, so we're not going to be using these until either I can modify it to add oxygen or at all. But the only reason I installed it is because I found that that's the mod that has these ginormous solar panels that I really like. So instead of just taking the solar panels out, I actually installed the cockpits as well. Might use them, might not, don't know. But for now, we have to go ahead and select our mission package, which is yet another boring mission I couldn't squeeze into the last boring missions. So it's a Comsat satellite, yeah, Comsat 1. Hola, we've got our first client request, give your best it. Or give your best. Yes, I will give my best. It will bring us other clients. Kerbal Telecom likes to get a satellite in orbit. They really like it. Whenever they see a satellite get into orbit, they're like, I like that. Me gusta, man. Reach a stable orbit of 150 kilometers with a communication satellite. The client requested at least one Communitron 8888 and one Communitron 16 strapped on the satellite. So don't forget them. And it's worth 50,000 Kyros. That's a lot of money. So of course we're going to select that, and we're going to try to build a really cheap ship for these guys. Really cheap, of course, means the cheapest of cheap components. So we're going to go with an Octo 2. Along with the Octo 2, of course, you do have to have like little stanchions, little struts. You have to have struts. I know people will build these without struts, but honestly, give it some body, guys. Come on, just a little bit of body. On the bottom, we're going to go ahead and plug that on there. Let's take a look at our Communotron stuff. That's this. I think we'll just throw that right here on top, just like that. Bam. And then we do have the Communotron 16. I'm not sure where to stick that. I think maybe we'll stick it here, just on the side. Now, that'll make us uneven. But we do have a couple ways to fix that, including photovoltaic solar panels. Not really how to fix it, that's just how we're going to fix it. There you go, see? So we're actually going to spend some money, 300 Kyros on solar panels, and then we're going to spend 80 Kyros on a single battery, which is going to go right here. And that's going to be our satellite. Now, if you guys are wondering why I put that together so quickly, it's because I actually put it together about 5 minutes ago after realizing that 15 minutes of video had no audio because I had my mic muted. Yay! So, so that's the design we came up with. Wasn't that hard the first time, much easier the second time, and it costs 2,180 Kyros. Now, the thing is to get this thing into the space place. Now, it has to go up to 150 kilometers. I'm assuming it's 150 kilometers circular orbit, of course. To do that, we're just going to go ahead and build a regular old rocket. Nothing super spectacular. It's just going to be a really light style asparagus rocket. It's actually going to crank up the cost a lot. We're going to go ahead and actually check something out. I built a dual stage asparagus rocket with 2 of these big tanks in the middle. I'm going to see what the delta V is with only 1. I'm going to see if that can get us up there. If it can't, we will correct it with a second one. But for now, we're just going to check it with the 1. So let's go ahead and do that. That's this, and like, no, I want it like, yeah, like so. Thank you. Alright, and then 2 more of these, and we're just going to go thrust vectoring rockets. I know I could use this big one for the center, but these things do not turn, and it's got so much power it actually flips the rocket over when it's this short. So we have to use the lighter ones, and I need fuel lines. There it is, fuel lines. Go here. And there. Alright, so there's our fuel lines, there's our stuff. We're going to put it all like that, and that's going to be our rocket, provided it gives us what we need. And we need to stop looking at the floor because all those Kerbals are lagging out our screen for some reason. And we're just going to put this here. We're actually not going to put it. We only want 1. It's too expensive to do 2. Oh, look at that. 2,098 at 3.36 and 5,938 at 3.33. That should be enough to actually get us into orbit without a problem at all, I think. I don't know. This might become an expensive disaster. I wonder if, just for safety purposes, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to be silly for safety purposes. 2.99 at 1798. 2.43 at 6370. What was the first one again? 2098. Huh. I like the second number. I don't like how far the first number drops, though. But this is an expensive ship to be screwing around with, so... What do you guys think? Should we add the second tank just for funsies? Just for safety purposes? Just for whatevers? Well, we also have another option. We can go halfway. We can go between the two. We can add one of these tanks and then... And that gives us 2.81 at 6.1, and hey, there we go. Okay, that's a little bit better. It gives us a little bit of... It gives us a little drop in thrust to weight and delta V initially, but a huge amount up high, and that's what we're really going to need it, is up high. So I kind of like that. I kind of like this one. Okay, we're going to go with that, I think. So what did I just do, and why did I do it? I think I accidentally hit the delete key. I was aiming for page down, which is how I zoom like this, and unfortunately I hit the delete key instead. My bad. Okay, so luckily we have Control Z. You know, like Microsoft Word, we can just undo. I wish real life had an undo. That'd be kind of cool. I think this ship's gonna need 2 clamps. That has a feeling for me. I don't know why. How much are clamps? 200. Okay, so that's not too expensive. So the whole rocket costs 33,147 kiros, which is just over half of how much money we're getting out of this. But honestly, rocket fuel is expensive. That's just the way it is. So let's see. And done. Alright, so there we go. We're good to go. So we have to name our rocket ship. So we'll call it the TRZ. We'll just call it the Commie 1. I don't know why I'm going to call it that, but that's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it the Commie 1, I think. I don't know, now that name actually sounds kind of rude to me. I'm not going to call it Sputnik. I know you guys are going to want me to call it Sputnik or Kerbnik or some Nick or Nick, but no, we're not going to do that. We're going to bring up our own name. And what kind of name could we name a little probe like this? Let's well, wait. Okay, wait a second, I got this. I got this. Let's see. There it was, the KSM. Now that is actually kind of a joke on AT&T. Now, if anybody isn't aware of this, AT&T actually stands for something. For those of you who are like, I have AT&T, and you have no idea what it means, AT&T stands for American Telegraph and Telephone. Or telephone and telegraph, depending. I think it's telegraph and telephone. Yeah, AT&T is American Telegraph and Telephone. KSM is Kerbal Smoke and Mirrors. I was going to do smoke as in smoke signals, and then something else for some other type of oddball communication style, like semaphore. I guess I could do that, KS and S. That'd probably sound less perverse. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. We'll do KS and S, and we're going to save a second version of that. So we're going to have the KS and S, so that's the Kerbal, Kerbal smoke signals and semaphore. It sounds appropriate. I don't know. It's funny. Shush. Alright, so we're also going to go action groups. We're going to have 2 sets of action groups. Our first action group is going to be for these guys. Excuse me. And, these are just going to go ahead and toggle open. Our second action group is going to be for our solar panels, and they're just going to be a toggle. So we're going to get that out of the way. We're going to go ahead and save that, and then we're going to get this thing out on the launch pad. I suppose I can show you the initial launch and then see if anything happens during flight, but other than that, this is one of those very boring launches again, just to get us some money, just to get something out into space. If it doesn't work, I will show you that. If it does work, we will, of course, show everything opening and doing its thing. But I'm not going to do just a whole flight. I'm going to try to cut those things down again until we actually get Kerbals out there and it's like, oh my god, super important. So, I will see you guys out on the launch pad and then probably up in orbit. So I will see you guys there. Alright everyone, launch pad, here we are, and we're going to just go. So we have to get this little guy up to 150 kilometers. It can be considered a lot, really, but we should be able to make it without a problem. Provided I do this properly. And you know how I am. Okay, so far no launch issues. Not sure if we'll make it considering how fast we're burning fuel, but we'll have to see. So I will see you guys most likely up in the orbit space where it's all safe and everything's wonderful. So I'll see you there. Alright everybody. Ooh, a little bit of a pop there, sorry about that. Was able to get us into orbit. We're here, we're doing our thing. We have power enough to mess around a little bit before we open everything up. I just realized that I actually put us into a polar, not a polar, but an equatorial orbit, which is moon landing orbit, which is right in the way of everything orbit. Don't like that. We have a little bit of fuel left. What I think we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and try to twist our orbit a little bit. I just want to twist it a little bit, get us out of the way so we're not ramming into anything. It's not going to be perfect, but they only care about height. They don't care about actual eccentricity, as you can see. So let's go ahead and hide finish goals. We're not going to finish the mission just yet. So let's go ahead and this should twist our orbit just a little bit, I think. And that's all we really want. So we have to make sure that we don't mess up our height too much. Actually, we are kind of messing up our height a little bit, but we've already finished the mission, so it doesn't matter. Kind of cheapy. Okay, there we go. We're gonna actually let's just get this out of the way for now. Yeah. So we do kind of mess up our orbit just a little bit, but that's okay. We're just kind of trying to keep it straight while we do all of our other stuff. Just gonna burn out the rest of this fuel, see if we can get into a equatorial-ish orbit. Is this right? This way? Alright, we're at 160. I don't know why that is. Oh, because we're coming up on our periapsis. Okay. No, that's not right. No, that's not right either. Let's... I'm trying... I really do want to keep this in a semi-stable orbit like it's supposed to be without mucking it about. There you go. It's a little better. Alright. And what's that doing to our orbit? Probably nothing really. Okay, there we go. We're a little changey. Oh, it's going up. That's going way up, way up, way up, way up. We don't want way up. Just little micro burns here and there. There we go. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep the orbit stable while we do this. It's not really working for us, so. 7, 6. Alright, we're losing out on both ends, and that's no good. Alright, so we're now in kind of a crookedy orbit. I like a crookedy orbit better than a straight orbit, so let's go ahead and just ditch the rest of this fuel, I suppose. 154 by 143. Not really. Let's see if we can fix that. Let's see. I know, it's like... I want it to be where it's supposed to be in the mission. I don't... 156 by 145. That's no good either. Okay, it's going to be a tight fit, but we'll see if we can do this. Okay, that's not it. That's a little bit more it. No, that's not it either. Go this way. Come on. There you go. Yeah, unfortunately the way the orbit is. So it's not going to be perfect. That's okay. We'll just leave it as is. We're going to go ahead and ditch, I suppose. Pink. So there's our little proby. We're going to go ahead and open up the proby solar panels. And just for fun, let's do this. Okay, now we're aimed at the sun like we're supposed to be. And we'll tilt down a little bit. And I guess we'll just lock ourselves in with a little time acceleration. And then, here it comes! Bloop. Pow! There it is, one communication satellite. I'm not sure what it's talking to, considering it's aimed over the horizon, but there it is. That actually looks like a Comsat, too. I love it. It actually does look like a Comsat. So, we have our first communication satellite in orbit. It's got us some money, I suppose. We can go ahead and finish the mission now. Finish mission. Mission already finished. 94,000 Kyros. Yay! Okay, so yeah, we didn't go up to... We would have had like 11,000, but we spent a bunch. But yeah, 94,000 isn't that, you know, can't scoff at that. We have some garbage out here. Don't like garbage. Let's flip to our garbage. And we're just going to go ahead and end this mission and head back inside because, you know, space garbage is what space garbage is, which of course is garbagey. And actually, which way... My ship should be right over there. Is it really so tiny that I can't see it from here? It's like right over there. Don't even... Wow. Maybe I should have put a light on it or something. Eh, it would have been too expensive. Oh wait, no. There it is. There it is. Wow, that's so hard to see. I don't even know if you guys can see that. I can barely see it. There's just a couple of pixels being blinked at with the light, so it's right there, just above my cursor. And of course, if I click on it or aim over it, you can see it. Alright, so we're going to head back inside. We're going to cancel this mission, head back inside, and that's when we get to the meat of Kerbal Space Program, the Realz, because now we have real Kerbals to deal with. Who knows? So I will see you guys back inside for the exciting continuation of, well, will hopefully be not a lot of dead Kerbals, I hope. I did really good keeping them alive when I wasn't trying to blow them up. Now I gotta keep them alive by keeping them breathing. Oi. So I'll see you guys inside. Alright, back inside. 94,000 Kyros to fiddle around with, and we have a new mission. We have Kerbal in space. Okay, so it says sweet. Now we can go and look at the commercial missions level 1. They will bring us the hard cash that we need. Okay, it's time to bring... Okay, it's time to bring one of the brave Kerbals into space. Our data shows that it should be relative safe once we get him there. Reach a stable orbit of 250 kilometers, plus or minus 5k. Stay there for at least 2 hours, and then bring him back safe to KSC. Ooh, that might be tough. I have to use a very similar rocket to the ones we've been using, but maybe a little bit more. Okay, so we want... It's 130,000 Kyros total, which is good. 250,000 kilometers, we get 5,000. Minimal time is 2 hours. Not sure if 2 hours is enough air. Let's see, reward will be 5,000 Kyros. Mission goal landing optional. Option of landing at Kerbal Space Command. Not gonna happen. Now, I did say we get commercial missions, and I did take a quick look. This is what it's talking about down here. So we say commercial mission level 1, orbit over Duna. We can bring a satellite into orbit around Duna, and we get 100,000 Kyros for that. And then, of course, Eve, Gilly, Ike, Kerbin, Minmus, Moho, Moon. I think we'd do Minmus and Moho and the Moon before any of the others. You know, so we can bring like a communitron around the moons for communication or something. Same thing with Minmus. It's a little bit of money, but it's not that hard to get to the moon, so... You know, so they have Pro for Duna, Eve, Minmus, Moho, and then there's stuff down here that we haven't unlocked yet. So we can do this, and these are repeatable apparently, so you can do these as many times as you want to. I guess that means you can like fly a satellite over Duna and then crash it, I suppose. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you have that option. Alright, so but for now we have to do Kerbal in space, and I'm kind of nervous about this guy, so here we go, select mission. Whew, alright, so for Kerbal in space, we're going to need a Kerbal. And, well, we'll just do the Command Pod Mark 1. Now, the Command Pod Mark 1 actually comes with a 250 ablative shield coating on its base anyway. And that's actually pretty awesome. I like that it has that. We could put another ablative shield coating underneath it. That's, of course, one of these for 200. So that's an additional 250 points of plating. Oh, wow. That acted weird. Huh. I wonder if I've been putting that on wrong the whole time. Like, if I've been putting it on like that and it's not supposed to sit like that. My bad, if that's been the case. That seems to me how it'd sit better, but... Oh, no, stop it. Stop it, you silly thing. Yeah, some of these smaller things is really hard. So I think it sits like that. So I don't know, maybe we'll do that, maybe we'll not. We have to build a rocket under this anyway. So yeah, it has 250 points of ablative shielding on its own, which is great. We all, of course, also need to keep our Kerbin alive. So how much oxygen does this thing have? It has 100 units of oxygen. Alright. And 10 units of carbon dioxide. So not a lot, unfortunately. And it does not have a lot of space. So let's go ahead and put a parachute on top. We're going to need a parachute. Absolutely going to need a parachute for our Kerbin, just in case. That's not a parachute. There we go. We're going to need one of these. That's all we're really going to need for the parachute portion. We're going to need a couple of photovoltaic panels for the purposes of power, because we're not going to have any batteries. We're just going to have photovoltaic panels. We are, of course, going to be putting a brainy unit here. We need a brainy unit. Brainy units are located here. We're going to put one of these on. We just want the one. Not two. Put that there. We're not going to use the flight recorder. It'd be nice to use the flight recorder. I suppose we could just for fun. If we really wanted to, we could use the flight recorder for fun. But it's a little expensive, and I know I said I wasn't going to worry about money, but well, you know what? It's our first actual manned space flight. Let's go all out. One flight recorder. That way we can hear the Kerbal screams. I don't want to die. But it's Jebediah, so people are like, yes, this is the greatest day ever. Look, there's fire inside the cockpit. I'm so warm. That's Jebediah. Alright, so that should be all we need for the go out part of our trip, right? Or for the return part of our trip. We only have 100 units of oxygen, and that makes me nervous, but I worry about putting on extra units, right? That would be under here. So this is like 400 units, and we could like slap one of these babies on, or two of these babies on, but they won't be protected by the ablative shielding, and they'll just be in the way, really. I'm pretty sure 2 hours in this pod is not going to kill Jebediah. Pretty sure. I have no way of knowing. Okay. Well, it says a couple of hours in space, or a couple of days in space. See, it's 2 hours. But 2 hours in Kerbal time is like almost 2 days. Don't need this much oxygen. Do not need this much oxygen at all. Really. That's just way too much. Wow, that's like 1,000 units for whatever it believes is fuel. Or it's 1,000 units of air. That's what it is. It's 1,000 for air. We need 1,000 for air. Okay. So apparently other resource costs is other resources. So apparently air costs money. Air costs 1,000 Kyros. Once again, it's not balanced for that. We don't need a life support unit. It's not balanced for that, but we're not gonna worry about that when it comes to the money, because of course we know it's not balanced for that. Okay, well, we'll put the main body of the ship together, I think, and then we'll worry about the oxygen in a minute. So we're gonna go ahead and slap one of these on here. We're not gonna need very much when it comes to rocketry. We're just gonna need a couple of bits and a couple of bobs and nothing too spectacular. So we're gonna go that, and we're gonna go one of these light rockets. And we can get rid of this for now, and we'll see how much it costs when we're all done up. Whew. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I am nervous about this. I don't want to kill Jebediah. I don't want to kill any of my Kerbins, especially not the first Kerbin. That's... Oh, the first Kerbin, man. I mean, if Jebediah is our pilot every time, fine. Eventually it's like, yeah, you know, the odds are against you. You're going to die eventually in some kind of explosion. But just to have him go up into space, and because I don't know exactly how much oxygen he's going to need, he conks out, that's not fair to him. That is not fair to him. Okay, so that gives us 3.16, and excuse me, I bumped my microphone again. Keep doing that, I don't mean to. 48-49 meters per second. Let's see. Will that be enough? Come on, Star Trek device, tell me if that will be enough. Bloop, 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 bloop. No. Okay. I don't think it will be. We may be able to do it like this. I know, right? Let's just see if we can. So what does 3 get us? 3 gets us 3.21 and 2.81 at 23.21 and 52.33. That's not bad, right? That works. Probably gonna be super expensive though. 42,000 Kyros. Yeah, but the whole reward is 130,000 Kyros. That's not even half as much money as we're gonna get back, provided Jebediah comes back in one piece. Now he does have the CO2 recycler, but he does not have oxygen replenishing. That's the thing I have a problem with, is he has the CO2 recycler, and I'm cool with that, but he does not have the ability to replenish O2. So this should be more than enough to get us to where we're going, without question. Absolutely should be more than enough to get us to where we're going, but whether or not it's going to keep Jeb alive, that's... Okay, let's see. 3 crew, 300 oxygen. 1 crew, 100 oxygen. Carbon dioxide is 30, carbon dioxide is 10, so it's multiplied by 10 for each Kerbal, right? Well, except for this one, which apparently is oxygen 150 and carbon dioxide 30, so less O2, more whatever. 50 by 10, 100 by 10, that's standard. This one doesn't have any. 150 by 20. Really? For 1 Kerbin? Cool. 300 by 40, though, that's pretty badass. Okay, well, we're gonna take a shot. We're gonna say that 2 hours is enough. And if nothing else, we'll have Jeb stand outside the He's got 3 hours of EVA fuel. Or 3 hours of EVA oxygen. If he starts running out, we will have him climb outside. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is what you do, right? This is how you test. We're testing. We're doing live testing, the same way you do it in the Realz space program. You're like, we don't know if this is gonna work, so we're just gonna go ahead and do live testing. Alright, we're gonna name this thing, but not until we put some launch clamps on it. Launch clamps, okay. Can I put these somewhere nice? I'm gonna put 3, that's gonna up our expensive a little bit. 42, so we're almost, yeah, 42,000 is fine. Those should not be in the way of anything, I don't think. I don't know. I still don't like how, when you take a part off and put it back, it separates parts of the ship. Like you have those 2 engines, and then you have that 3rd engine there. I've never really liked that. I don't know if that's a Unity issue or if it's something they can fix. It's just a personal annoyance. It's not actually something that breaks the game. It's just an organization thing. And of course, for people with minor OCD, like everybody in the future, yeah, you ever noticed that we all have OCD? It might have something to do with the technology, I think. Everything in our world is so ordered and organized inside technology that when something is disordered outside, like if something is amiss or a mess outside, we're like, oh, it's disorganized. So when you see those commercials and stuff, or those dystopian futures where people are all strapped into machines, and it's like, you're becoming one with the machine, fight the power, fight the machine, move the launch clamps. You have to ask them, it's like, do you have OCD? When something is slightly out of line, do you go crazy? Who's really part of the machine? 10111101. Okay, dystopian future aside. I don't know, I probably just said something rude and binary. Alright, we have to name this thing. Jebediah, of course, is going to be our first pilot. It's going to be our first Kerbal in space. I don't remember the name of the dog that was in space, nor do I remember the name of the monkey. I know John Glenn. And yes, I know John Glenn versus Yuri Gagarin, but honestly, Glenn wins. I don't know if I don't know if John Glenn's name is 1N or 2. I'm not going to look it up. I'm not going to bother looking it up, so we're just going to call it the GELNN. I'm pretty sure John Glenn only has 1 N in his name. But we're just going to call this the Glenn 1, because that's going to be one of the very few references to real-life space travel, is really just going to be the names of the people who made it possible for us, versus the people who, you know, like the names of ships and things like that. So we're just going to call it the Glenn 1. I could call it like Liberty 7 or something like that, though Liberty Bell 7 unfortunately sank to the bottom of the ocean. Wasn't Glenn's fault. Watch the documentary. There's a huge documentary about John Glenn, and the Liberty Bell 7 is very much, and that's what these are designed after, by the way, are the Liberty modules. Liberty 7 actually sank because the emergency blast door blew open after landing. Like, he hit the water and the door blew open. And of course the cabin started to fill with water, and so he had to evacuate, and then the pod sank to the bottom of the ocean. Well, they blamed him. They said he bumped the emergency release with his elbow, because it was like right there. The emergency release for the door is right there. Except for the fact that every one of the other pilots who've tested the Liberty system, and I know we need to launch, but this is important. Every other pilot who tested the Liberty system in the emergency release door said, if you hit that thing, if you like punch that thing with your hand, if you like, you're supposed to palm it, you know, and they said if you palm that thing with your hand, you'd have like a quarter size or like a $50 size bruise in the middle of your hand. That's how hard you had to hit it. You would actually bruise whatever part of your body you hit it. And they looked all up and down John's arm, no bruises. And you could have said, well, the spacesuit protected him, but he didn't have that big, clunky, you know, puffy spacesuit we have now. He had the old school spacesuit, and it still would have left some kind of mark, or either on him or the spacesuit, but he was perfectly fine. So the official report was that John bumped it, and because he bumped it, the door blew open. But most of the guys said they never really trusted the door releases anyway, because it's the explosive bolts. They never really trusted them anyway. And they think that's what happened. But they recovered Liberty Bell recently, quote-unquote recently. He had some footage on board. There was an in-flight camera that actually was trained roughly on the door, but unfortunately the film sank with the bell, and they thought maybe if they got super lucky they could recover it and get those films out, but unfortunately the films were all destroyed, so there is no proof of what happened. So up to you which way you want to go with that. Of course, as we all know, John Glenn did not, and I believe it was John Glenn. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but John Glenn unfortunately suffered a disastrous fate in the fire of the cabin of... It wasn't one of the Apollo missions, I don't think. It was the test fire that killed 3 astronauts. John was among them, and unfortunately, once again, it was the door that got him. So, and in this case, they couldn't open the door. But anyway, so yeah, we're just gonna call it the Glenn 1. Long story for a short name. I'm sure there's people out there who could correct me. If you really, really, really want to know, ask Scott Manley. That dude knows everything about space. I only know a little bit. So I'm going to see you guys out there on the launch pad. We're going to get this thing up into the black, and hopefully Jebediah will survive for the 2-hour requirement. So we're going to try to get to 250 kilometers and then come back down. I did select the mission. Yes, I did. So we will just go, go, go. So I'll see you guys there. Alright everybody, our first orbital launch with a Kerbin, Jebediah Kerman. So happy, so wonderful, yeah, we're not going to even go there. So, we have Jeb, we have our cockpit, we have our resources. We're going to start creating carbon dioxide. It doesn't look like he's using too much O2, but after 2 hours, you never know, so it's 99.99. We'll actually have to see. We'll have to see how it works, and this will be a test on that. Yeah, I know, Jeb, we're going to go. He's like, go, 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 yeah, fun. Okay. I'm thinking we're just going to go straight over to 90 degrees like every other orbit. We're just going to do an equatorial orbit. I have no urge to do any other kind, so we will do that. I just got to make sure I got all my parts on here. Yeah, parachute and decoupler, and we don't have a heat shield, but this thing has ablative coating, so we shouldn't need it. And, make sure all my stuff is... Hey, yes, hello, officer. All right, here we go. Here we go. And we are off the launch pad. We are safely off the launch pad. Jebediah, of course, happy as a clam, slightly upside down. You have to remember this is a camera pointed directly at his face, and he's actually facing, he's actually sitting kind of upside down. He's sitting this way. So, but anyway, we are safely off the launch pad, and as far as I know, nothing bad is going to happen. So as long as nothing bad happens, I will see you guys in orbit. So see you there. Alright everybody, here we are in orbit, and I think we may be having a little bit of a problem. Our altitude is roughly 250,000, but our apoapsis, yeah, see, we're at 269 by 163. That's really, really bad, and I don't know if we have enough delta V left. I don't think we do. At least not enough to get out there and then back. That's gonna be an issue. Jebediah, you may die out here. So I have to make a choice. I have to make a choice either to flop the mission and then come back and bring Jebediah back, or to finish the mission and hope. Now, I never really thought about it before, and now that I'm sitting here, I never really thought about whether or not we were going to cancel missions. Like, actually cancel missions, because I can get Jebediah out there. I can get him out there. I can't get him back. And if a mission doesn't require a Kerbin to come back, can we cancel the mission and still consider it successful? Personally, I'm going to say no on that one. This is the Realz. The Realz means returning. So I think we're going to have to eat the money we just blew on this in order to get Jebediah back safely in one piece. That's going to be my guess, I think, personally. So, yeah, because I don't like the idea of leaving him up here. Of course, we can't leave him up here. I also don't like the idea of ending the mission in order to cheat my way out of not bringing enough fuel. That is not cool either. So because of those two things, and our little bleep bleep bloop, little guy on the back bleeping and blooping. Anyway, I'll try to ignore that as much as possible. Because of those two things, I think that we're gonna have to bring him back down. Whew. Okay. Yeah. So it's gonna be unfortunately a scrubbed mission for now, but of course, in order to do that, we have to bring him back safely. So we're gonna have to do at least one orbit at this. I think 250 is way too high. I know I screwed up the orbit myself, like I screwed up the burn. But I honestly think 250 is just way too high to ask for a first orbit. But that's okay. We also have the Comsat thing. We can also bring another Comsat up if we needed to. So let's go ahead and do an orbit. Actually, you know what? While we're sitting here, this will also give us a good O2 test. Because look at that, we're at 99.8 and our CO2 is at 0.2. So, you know, we're up here. Let's do this. You know, Jeb's allowed out. He's in orbit. We're in orbit. I just think 250K is way too high. So let's go ahead and EVA Jeb. Yeah, come on, Jeb. Turn on your lights there, buddy. All right, let go. And bring up your RCS. Whoop, 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 whoop. Aha! There it is. Oh, it's having a little bit of trouble controlling the issue. Okay, you good? Jeb is good. Jeb's like, I am fine. I am floating. I am free. Jeb is free. Look at free Jeb. Oh my god, Jeb, free Jeb. He's so happy. Greatest day ever. Our first live Kerbin in the space place. In the orbits and everything. Go check your flight recorder, Jeb. We gotta know what went wrong, man. He's gonna go over here. He's gonna check his flight recorder. He's gonna be like, I don't know what went wrong. What's all these lights for? No one told me how this works. Hell, I didn't even know this thing was on here. What is this thing? Are we being invaded? I don't understand. Ooh, watch your head. Watch it, Bobby. Okay, so he's gonna do a quick ship inspection, just for fun. There's really no other reason not to. And of course, we have our EVA fuel. Look at that. We have pack fuel is 96%. And look at that. Oxygen remaining 2 hours, 59 minutes, 4 seconds. So we have our little clock there ticking down saying, if you run out of O2, Jeff, he's breathing. He's not super happy. He's just breathing really hard. He's like, I've never had air in here before. This is nice. I like this. Okay, he's going to check our engines. Now, the mod for the Deadly Reentry did say that you could repair things. Yeah, see, no damage. Look at that. You can actually repair, like, engines and stuff. So if you burn your engine up and it takes damage coming up, you can repair it. I think you can repair anything, everything that can right-click. Yeah, no damage. So yeah, your Kerbal can actually repair stuff now. And I remember Scott saying something like he wished he looked for a mod where like your Kerbal could carry an acetylene torch or something like that, and like go outside and act like it's repairing stuff. And I thought, you know what, that would be totally awesome if you added that to the Deadly Reentry mod, where you could like actually take your Kerbal out and he's like got a little acetylene torch. He's all like, bzz, 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 bzz. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be cool. See, no damage, no damage. Solar panels are fine. How's our parachute? How's our parachute looking? Deploy chute and no damage. No, we're not going to deploy chute now, Jeb. Alright, so the ship looks okay. There's no damage to anything. That means we should be able to make it back inside in one piece. So, Jeb, if you would be so kind as to do that and just go ahead and climb aboard. And that was fun. That was our first EVA in the Realz. Jeb's like, oh, wow, back inside. Oh, man, look at all these buttons. Jeb is a great guy to have as your first guy. He really is. He's absolutely the greatest guy to have as your first pilot-ish. I wonder why that's up there. Like, electricity is 49.6. I wonder why we have 50.02. I wonder if that's because of the oxygen. And I don't mean O2 oxygen. I mean, I wonder if that's because of the oxygen, like, system or something that gives me a little bit of extra power or something. Okay, so we're going to end up going on the dark side. I wonder if I should turn on a scrubber. Yeah, we'll activate Jeb's scrubber really quick. We just turned into the yeah, we just turned into the sun, so I think our solar panel's getting a little bit of heat. Yeah, just a little bit of flow, and that's good enough. Okay, we're gonna have to go to the dark side of the moon, or of the Kerbin really quick. I know we're just wasting all this time sitting here in space, and I'm sorry. So we're gonna go to the dark side of Kerbin really quick. We're gonna scrub. It looks like his scrubber's working. Okay, it's working, but it's not working great. It's a slow scrubber. All right, so we're gonna head over here. We're just gonna float to the other side. Okay, our power is gonna start going down, but we have 50 units of power, so that shouldn't be a big deal. No need to bring Jeb out on this side of the planet. Alright, so we don't have to do anything spectacular. All we have to do is burn as best as we possibly can at the periapsis. Speaking of which, where is our periapsis? Time to periapsis is 3110 apoapsis. Yes, we have to head to our apoapsis. So that's where we're headed now. Our power's, yep, our power's going back up. 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, here we go. I guess we should honestly turn around. Alright, so it's 1 minute, 15 seconds. So let's go ahead and turn ourselves around. Pardon me. We may not be able to land on land, but that's okay. We need to get Jeb out of here. We need to get Jeb out alive. That is our main goal more than anything else, is to get Jeb out alive. So hopefully it will be enough to do that. If not, I don't know what we're going to do. I honestly don't know what we're going to do. Pardon me. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. Yeah, I'm really nervous though because we don't have that much burn time. So we have to do this as efficiently as possible. And you know how I am with that. Terrible. Alright. 20 seconds. Alright. 10 seconds. Okay. We will start our burn now. We're just going to burn the rest of this fuel out and pray. Oh. That wasn't all of our fuel, but we were coming down pretty hot, so. 26. 11? How's that looking? It's looking a little steep, but I like it. I like it a lot. There it is. Okay, that's going to be our burn-in, because I honestly don't think we could have gotten Jeb up and then back down. Maybe we could have. But I'm not taking that chance. We're not taking that chance, people. Okay, our CO2 is out. We don't need our scrubber right now. We'll keep it on. It's not taking that much power. Got a little flight recorder recording all of our mistakes. It's like, bloop, bloop, you screwed up this way. Bloop, bloop. We'll keep our engine on for now, I think. Unless we really just want to pod up, but I don't think we want to. I like having that extra weight there. But we will go, 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 I think. So let us do that. Let's go, go, go. And now that we have Comsat 1 missions open, if we run out of money, we can actually use the Comsat missions to get some of our money back without too much difficulty, I think. That would be nice. Super duper helpful, I think. Alright, 80, 70, 60. Okay, we're now actually coming down, so I should. And I like doing it this way. I actually like ditching from top to bottom because that way what it went the wrong way. That way what happens is the wind resistance catches the big thing and pulls it down below us, like so. So we're just going to go ahead and ditch this like so. Yeah, and see, so that actually ditches that. We probably push ourselves up into orbit a little bit, but at least that now is less likely to strike us if the chance occurs. So we're going to roll. Now, I don't like the roll at this point. We're just going to have to cope with it. And there we go. So now you have to remember the only heat shield we have on this thing is the one that it comes with, which is the 250 ablative shielding here on the bottom. Alright, looks like we're starting to come into atmosphere. I guess Jebediah can watch the ocean fly by from underneath. It's probably not a good idea to have your window facing that particular direction, but whatever. Alright, well, it's being weird. Gotta be very cautious. There you go. Oh, okay. We can do some physical time acceleration. We're going to come in kind of steep, but I know this is really stupid to test this with Jebediah, but I'm kind of trying to test the ablative coating and how well it works because we don't really burn up that quickly coming in at these speeds like I thought we would. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe this is actually the steepest angle, the too steep angle that will kill us. Alright, looks like we got some flames catching up. We got some flames going on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jebediah's like, whatever. Gotta make sure I'm hitting the right button. Yep, we got flames. Woohoo! Okay, so let's check our ablative coating. We'll just keep this on. Ablative coating's doing fine. What's our temperature at? Temperature is 755 degrees. Temperature is roughly 930 degrees. That means it's not protected. Actually, none of these parts are protected. That's odd that they're not blowing, though. You'd think they would. I wonder if that's a problem. I wonder if that's a glitch in the new way it's coated. Or maybe if there's a heat shield between it. No? Well, the heat shield is technically between it, but it does say its temperature is up. So I'm not sure how that's working. We'll go ahead and cope with it, though. So here we go. Burning in. Zoom. Jebediah may actually hit land. That's cool. Yeah, I am worried that maybe the mod isn't working like it's supposed to, because these things did not blow up like they were supposed to. And they did say it was hot, so I don't know. I don't know, we will have to see. But yeah, look at our ablative shielding, 128 out of 250. That's still only halfway. Wow, really? Makes me wonder. Like, even if you come in, like, straight down, if it'll only ever go to, like, 128 at 250. Alright, we're gonna wait till our speed reduces a little bit more. Jebediah is happy. Happy, 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 happy. Even though this mission was incomplete, unfortunately, Jebediah is happy. And that's gonna crash down eventually. Eventually, I think. Maybe it's actually gonna hit land too. I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was gonna hit the water, but it's hard to tell from here. I have no basis for movement. Yeah, I don't have the scatter effect on. You guys may have noticed I don't have scatter effect or anything like that. And we are at 6,000 meters. Let's go ahead and pop our chute, I think. Now slow us way down. Alright, so Jebediah made it back alive. We've kind of got an idea of his oxygen usage. He actually doesn't use that much O2. Doesn't create that much carbon dioxide either, so that's a good test-ish. Wow, we are really high up. Is this basically at sea level? Yeah, it's about 500 meters up from sea level. Ish. Well, still, it's going. Oh, there it is, it biffed out. Hopefully we don't. There we go, 500 meters from the surface, right? Yep. I do like how they fixed that. I remember when the parachutes would open at 500 meters sea level only. It made it fun wondering if you were going to land on a hill or not. It's like, are we going to land on a hill? I know that parachutes actually don't really open until the atmosphere is thick enough to open them. That's the way they work. It's a physics thing. You cannot get around it. If there's not enough atmosphere, your parachute's never going to open. And even if it does, it's never going to fully open. They may have been going with that set of realism when they said 500 meters no matter what, but they may also realize that sometimes people are going to land on hills. And if you're going to land on a hill that's 1,000 meters up, a 500 meter parachute is not going to do you any good. And so they basically changed it. And I think they changed it because a couple of modders did it. They made a couple of additional parachutes that you could download, and they opened at altitude at terrain level, versus altitude at sea level. And once they did that, they're like, okay, so all the stock parachutes got that encoding change, and so now they all open at 500 terrain level. We're coming down at 6.9 meters a second. No, it seems pretty hefty. All right, we have landed. Jebediah is not too stoked about that. He's never liked the whole landing thing. We'll get 1,291 Kyros out of it. Unfortunately, that took a lot of money to get it up there. But we will recycle our vessel. Yeah, we landed. Well, we landed, but we didn't pass any of the other mission parts, so of course we can't do this one. So yeah, we're gonna head back inside. We're gonna have to do a little bit of a recalculation, a refix, in order to get enough fuel to get Jebediah up to the 250,000 mark. We'll probably just jam an extra fuel tank in there. The 130,000 we get out of this will be enough to boost us back up, but that was a very wasteful mission. We're actually going to be dropping down to roughly, if not below, 53,000, then almost zero, if not at zero, so that's going to be a pain. So I'll see you guys probably back out on the launch pad, because all I'm going to do is add one large tank to this, and we'll see what's up. So I'll see you guys there. Alright everybody, back on the launch pad. I did add that extra tank. I didn't put any straps or anything because I don't think we're going to need them. I also don't believe this is top heavy, so it should work fine. The sum total of the cost of this launch is going to be 49,000, so that's going to basically gut our current budget. If this is not successful, we're going to have a bit of an issue. So let us go ahead and drop this down. Let us bring this up, and we're just going to go ahead and launch and make sure everything works. And then once again, I'll see you guys in the orbits. I hope. So here we go. Of course, we're a little bit heavier, so it's going to take a little bit longer to take off, and there goes our shadow. Goodbye, shadow. It was nice seeing you. Alright, so there we go. Successful launch. Everything should work fine. We're not going to wait for the first stage to go, mostly because it's going to take a little while for the first stage to go. So I will just see you guys in orbit, and we'll see how that works for us. I'll see you there. Alright, everybody, we are in orbit. I got our orbit to where it needs to be, 249 by 254, so it's very close to being on edge on this one, but that's okay. That's our max apoapsis. So we have to be here for 2 hours, and we're here for 30 seconds so far. I'm actually going to go ahead and kick on our O2 scrubber, because we're at 0.79, and 0.79 makes me nervous. Oop, let's go ahead and get that menu somewhere where we can see it. There we go. So activate scrubber, so that should scrub our O2 a little bit. We got sunlight coming in, hitting our electric charge. Everything's going good. So I think that's a good time. Once again, we're just going to go ahead and have Jebediah EVA, and he's going to check the ship. Now, like I said before, one of the things about the the mod, the deadly reentry mod, is that it causes damage. Well, one of the things you can cause damage is you can damage your engine. You can actually damage your engine if you burn too hard for too long, and I did. I actually burned this engine full throttle for a very long time, so I'm having Jebediah. I'm actually doing this, by the way. I'm not just doing this to screw around. I'm actually having Jebediah check the engine. So the engine, no damage. Jebediah says that he sees no damage on the engine. So I think it only takes damage if it's overheating during that time. It just said if you burn at full throttle, you can take damage, which I guess means if you're burning to the point where your engine is actually overheating, your engine will take damage. Of course, we know that if your overheat hits maximum, your engine explodes, so I'm not really sure. Not 100% sure about the mod. A lot of the claims they're making, I'm not 100% sure they're working, but I will say that it's looking awesome, and the numbers for like the ablative coating and all that stuff are pretty sweet, so I will not complain about those things. I will also say that for some reason I did a couple test launches earlier to check the ablative coating on a couple of pods and a couple of heat shields, and to see how they work, because they don't have the ablative coating attribute. I will say that the orange fuel tanks tend to explode as soon as they're empty. Don't know why, but it was something that was happening when I was launching. I was using a single orange fuel tank, and it was detonating on the way up. As soon as we hit zero, or like bingo fuel, the fuel tank just exploded. So I'm not sure what's going on there. We know that that's not happening here because this fuel tank's empty. But for whatever reason, that orange fuel tank was detonating at bingo fuel. So, and it didn't matter where my engine was at all, like what throttle my engine was at when that happened, because it would happen every time as soon as we hit bingo fuel. So we're gonna have Jebediah here look at the sun. Oh my god, my eyes! It's fun doing EVA. It really is fun doing EVA. I don't do it enough. I really don't. It's because I'm always afraid, like I told you guys, I'm afraid of the movie Gravity. I am afraid of floating off into space without EVA fuel. I'm afraid of getting lost in space. That's like a huge fear for me. I mean, I'm not afraid of space. I'm just afraid of not being tethered to something with an engine that can get me back down to ground safely. That's my biggest fear. So when it comes to like EVA fuel and things like that, I get super nervous. So I don't EVA much, but that's going to have to be something we do from now on, at least for a little while, if nothing else, so that like Kerbals can be in like a disaster situation. It's like, we have almost no air left. What do we do? It's like, well, we have EVA fuel. Okay, we'll go outside. And they head outside, and then they sit and they stand out there and they hold onto the rails, and they're like, I got 3 hours out here, man, and then it's your turn, you know? I don't know, that'd be a weird movie. What's really bad is we can cheat, and I'm going to say it is sort of a cheat that way, because this is 2 separate mods. So this oxygen is basically just a countdown to death, but it resets as soon as you go back inside, but you don't actually have to refill your oxygen tank. So you can go, if your O2 is down to like super low levels, you can go inside and refill your O2 and then leave again without actually using up your O2. So, and it looks like the scrubber is working, but it wasn't. I'm not sure if the scrubber is on. Maybe it just wasn't working because we weren't in it. That might be a thing. Maybe it won't activate unless we're in it. Possibly. No, scrubber's on, so yeah, maybe you just have to be inside for it to work. I'm not sure why you can turn off the resource. Like, is it possible to cheat by turning off CO2? You can't generate CO2 if you turn it off. We're not going to try. But that's a possibility. I don't know how the mod works. Our engine pointed at the moon. Okay, so this is going to be 2 hours of us just floating around space, and it just came to Kerbal nighttime. So we're going to go ahead and cut here really quick. Yeah, we've been up here for 4 minutes. We're going to go ahead and cut here really quick. And I will see you guys when it's time to go home, because there's no reason for you guys to be up here while I just speed through this. So I will see you guys on the other side. Woohoo! Alright everybody, 10 seconds left till we meet our marker. I did have the O2 scrubber on. It actually scrubbed a lot of the CO2 out very quickly. At about 100 times speed, it took about 2-3 minutes. There we go, we made our mark. So yes, we're at 2 hours. We made it! Jebediah, you've spent 2 hours plus in space. The most ever by a Kerban. Except for, of course, in Kerbal Space Adventures, when you guys spent 25 years in space. No one's ever going to beat that, right? Alright, so we have 9,600 Kiros left. Can you believe that? Oh my god. Alright, so now mission goal 2 is to land. We have to land. Whew, okay, so in order to do that, we're going to have to do... So I turned on my scrubber. Our scrubber is scrubbing. We also didn't use very much O2, which is great. We're going to take a look at the map because this is actually important. What we need, 249 by 254. Probably would have been better to burn the other way. It looks like we can burn here. This is not going to be the most efficient deorbit burn, but it should be the one that gets us where we want to go. So we're going to try to deorbit burn from here. We're going to see how that works for us. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to try to land on land, but this pod only gets us like 1,200 Kiros, excuse me. So it's not going to be that big a deal. So let's just go ahead and, well, burninate the rest of our fuel, I suppose. And 40 will get us into the atmosphere. That will help. And we should just go lower. 20, we'll say 20. We'll say 20 kilometers. Because that is, I'm not sure how I'm really not sure how the Deadly Reentry mod is currently working. Whether or not it's actually working 100%. It does look awesome. It is installed. It is the one that works with 0.20. So if it's not working at 100%, it's not because like I made a mistake. It's because the mod has switched hands. Things have changed. The idea of the mod has changed. It's actually, the scope has gotten much bigger, and I like that part. But there is the possibility that it may actually not be functioning 100%. It may just be destroying the ablative coating. Like, this ablative shielding number may just be going down, and if that hits 0, you might explode. But if this isn't on, if this ablative shielding resource isn't on a component, or if a damage count, like a health bar per se, isn't on a component, then it doesn't actually take damage, if that makes any sense. Like, Jebediah will die if he spends 3 hours outside, but that's just a timer. He doesn't actually have 3 hours of oxygen. He says 3 hours and then boom, he's dead. That might be very similar to how this mod is working, and since a lot of these components, actually all of these components do not have health bars, they're not taking damage. Now, I may have installed the mod wrong and they're supposed to have health bars. But all the cockpits, all the command modules have health bars, so they have ablative shielding. This one does, everything else does, and that uses the module manager for that, so that means that if these were supposed to have it, they would have it, I would think. So maybe they're just missing that health bar attribute. I don't know. But you know, I'm going to assume it's working, and as long as we don't explode, I'm going to remain happy. So let's go ahead. We're going to quick save because we're up here doing our thing. We're going to head in to Kerbal Space. Now we may hit water, but as I said, it won't really matter because we won't have to recycle the ship. We're going to go ahead and kill our orbit, or kill our orbital thing. There goes the light. Oh dear lord. Okay, so I know you guys can't see because it's super dark. So there's a ship. We are upside down, which is not good. We're at 66 kilometers and going down. And I think we can go ahead and ditch our rocket at this point. We could probably slow down if we really wanted to, but there's no point. Because 2,400 meters per second is actually not that bad. Yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're going to be okay. So we're just going to go ahead and ditch all of this. Goodbye. And that's just going to leave us with our main module. So here we go. Oop. And just kidding. Hey, look at that. Did a good job. Alright, so we'll just come in. We'll burn in. We'll speed up time. We're going to roll a little bit, but the wind should catch us here. Yeah, there it goes. It's starting to catch us a little bit. We're going to rock a little bit here and there. I should probably try to clean that up. Unfortunately, there's no way to clean that up once you start rocking like that. You just have to kind of keep it as straight as possible. And any kind of adjustments like this could really screw you up, so you got to be super duper careful about that kind of thing. Yeah, there's really no way to do that, so we're just going to have to cope. We're going to have to cope with a little bit of rocking. It looks like we're gaining speed. No, we're just not losing speed very quickly. Alright. Okay, there, now we're starting to lose speed very quicker. Okay, that should be good. Won't be perfect, but we'll rock a little bit, but not too badly. Okay. 38, 37, come on. We're going to start seeing fire here in a minute. Is that fire? Did I see fire? I don't see fire yet. Kind of see it. There's a little bit of fire. Okay, we're seeing a little bit of orange. It's like I'm seeing a little bit of fire. There it is. There it is. It's starting to pick up. Because that's what everybody wants to see. That's what they want to see. Why is it not? It's like it's catching and then it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's the way the mod's calculating it. It's like not calculating it. Actually, our angle's not that steep. I mean, it is steep. It's steeper than it should be. I'll say that much. But it's not that steep. Okay, so we're gonna burn across the sky like a fireball. I know it's making the noise for us. We don't need to make the noise. But isn't that cool looking from way back here? I'm keeping an eye on our ablative shielding up there. If anything else breaks off, as long as it's not our parachute, we should be fine. Speaking of which, let's take a look at our parachute. That thing should be 100% protected by our base plate. Should be. 290. Yeah, okay, so its heat went up. I wonder if that has to cross its heat threshold. But these ones definitely did. 500 Celsius, 500 Celsius, 600, 700. We'll have to see what the heat temperature on those things are, because if they're not... If it's not over 700, that thing should have definitely blown off. And that makes me concerned about the deadly reentry mod not functioning the way it was supposed to. But we made it. The ablative coating, yeah, once again, ablative coating, 125 out of 250. It's like, we'd have to come in almost straight down to burn that harder, I think. I'm not sure. So maybe the deadly reentry mod is still sort of a beta, a new beta versus the old beta, which worked, like I said, once you hit what's your heat tolerance? It's here. Have you hit it? Yes. Kaboom. This one is cooler, but it may not actually be functioning as well as it's supposed to be. Unknown. So, alright. And also, I'm not using the Ferrum Aerospace Research Pack, just so you guys know. I could, but I don't build space planes, so it actually does more damage more often. We're going to blow our chute there. It actually does more damage to our flight mechanics when going up into space than it does helping us flying planes down on the ground, because I don't build space planes. I probably never will. I'm no good at them. The Ferrum Aerospace Research Pack just makes it more difficult, and it actually says that in the mod too. If you play the mod, if you grab the mod, it'll say, "Don't use this unless you're hardcore, because this creates a more realistic flight simulator." Which means if you don't put adequate engines, adequate whatever, if you're off balance, if you're off kilter, you will kablooey. Versus wee into the sky. So one of those things. Well, okay, we're coming down. Our ship should hit here pretty soon. Our debris. I like how our debris is like right there. I mean, we did not separate very far from our debris at all. Alright, parachute opens. So now we're coming down at 7.3. 6.9 is what we hit by last time, and that should have been safe enough. and we will come down the last 400 meters really quick. I really love MechJeb. I love how MechJeb is so flexible, and so you can build your own little your everythings. But I like this one too because this actually has everything already set up. Like I only really use this right now. This is what I'm using. I don't use vertical speed or horizontal speed unless I'm attempting to land. But it's right there. Latitude, longitude, G-force not important. Terminal velocity is okay. Atmosphere drag, all this crap is just extra, and in case you're curious. So everything basically below here I don't use. And then you have vessel information, which gives me my delta V, which is really all I use on this. Rendezvous module when we dock, which is helpful. And then orbital information. So it's nice that you have these little pop-up. You just click the tab you're looking for. So like if I'm trying to fly up, I want orbit. If I'm trying to come down, I want surface. If I want a rendezvous, I want rendezvous. And that's really awesome. So I really like this one. And I also, of course, as you absolutely know, I love a little tape recorder. Recording landing. Boom. We have landed. Landed recorded. Yeah, look at that. It recorded. It's like anyway, so yeah, we have successfully landed. We didn't land at Kerbal Space Command, unfortunately. That would have netted us another 10,000, but we did get 5,000 for landing, so we will finish the mission. And we get 1,291 kilos for our ship. We will recycle our ship, and that puts us back up to 145,000. Yeah, we technically only made 50,000 off of that because of our failed launch. So I have to stop being so cautious about the money initially, because every time I'm cautious about the money initially, we lose so much. But there it is. Jebediah just spent 2 hours in space. He didn't use very much oxygen at all. His O2 scrubber is doing its thing. Ablative shielding is working for whatever ablative shielding works. So we have done it. We have done it. Now, once again, with these ones, it's hard to say because I'm doing so many missions. Yeah, we'll just head back inside. I'll see you guys back inside. I'm not going to cut here. I'll see you guys back inside. Yeah. Alright, everybody, back inside. I just took a look at the videos that we have on hand, or the section of video I have on hand, and we have hit time, unfortunately. That's not something I usually say in KSP, but it's not even close enough to squeeze in yet one more mission, because the mission we have coming up, and I'm going to show you guys a preview, of course, for the next episode. The mission we have coming up is Rock Around the Moon. And with Rock Around the Moon, wow, it worked. I never thought we would see that Kerbal again. Okay, now that we have proof that a Kerbal can survive in space, we should start and look at other bodies that are out there. Let's start with the moon. Get a probe up there in a stable orbit of 100 kilometers, fly at least for 3 hours around the moon, and collect data, and then come back to Kerbin. The scientists asked us to stick some sensors at the probe. They would pay 2,500K for each. And like usual, there is a bonus if you land a KSC. So you get 250K or 2,500K for each of these units you put on there, apparently. Not sure how that works, considering you only get 5,000 reward for it, but whatever. Now, I was looking at this, I'm going to give you guys a heads up, and this is actually, since we're at time, it actually gives me a little bit of a reprieve, but I scrolled down a little bit to one of our missions, and for an extra 75,000 Kuros, bring a satellite into the defined orbit with 1-time Communitron 16 and 4-time Communitron 88. And so we could actually do a second, like a dual probe launch at the moon, drop one off as this mission, for this mission, and bring the other one back for the other mission. But that's something that we're going to have to save till the next episode. And we may or may not do that. It is an option. It is something we can try to make things a little bit more difficult if we really wanted to, but if we're going to the moon anyway, But for now, we're going to go ahead and pause here. So once again, I would like to thank you all for joining me, 4 Kilobytes Short, on this Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program and the Realz. And I will see you next episode. Well, next video. I'm sorry, I will see you next video.